Hello and welcome to another episode of the Solo Grognard. My name is Eric. So today I'm going to show you what I got in the mail today. It's actually pretty exciting for me. It is a pre-order, brand new, fresh off the presses from GMT Games, the Next War series supplement. It's sort of neat because it's not a game in and of itself. So if you see it, and if you see this particular review and you're sort of wondering about it, please remember it's actually not a game. It is simply an expansion, as it were, a really optional expansion for the various Next War games, most especially Next War Korea, Next War India Pakistan, or Next War Taiwan. I just so happen to have all three because I really like the game series. Earlier I actually did a little review on Arctic Front from the Third World War game series, and I guess one of the things I really sort of appreciate with the Next War series is the fact that it is, in many respects, it has a lot of similarities to the game functions and game systems that you saw in the Third World War. I'll talk more about that in another episode, but suffice it to say, it definitely is a descendant of the Third World War series. Anyways, getting back to this supplement. Really neat, really cool. It's actually free online at this point. GMT has made it available as PDF files, and they put this particular supplement on their P500 system in order to provide the opportunity for people to pre-order it and get it in an actual physical form and using the usual GMT production standards. It just came in today. I was quite excited to see it. So there is the optional rules book. Interesting graphics there. Looks like there's some optional rules regarding cyber warfare. An alternate advanced game error system. Some submarine marker rules, as well as a number of new optional rules as well. So that's what the rulebook comes with. Looks like they're all pretty optional, sort of add or subtract as need be. Has the usual GMT pack of Ziplocs, which is cool. I really value my Next War games series, so I actually keep them all in a GMT counter trays to keep all the pieces organized and everything, and keeps everything nice. What else does it have? It also includes some charts. So this is the air system table, so some new tables regarding the alternate air system. I was going to say this looks like the US Allied reinforcement track, but it's not. It's the random events table. So I guess that's another element involved. So some different random events that could happen include collateral damage, sleeper cell, radio chatter. This is sort of funny. I have to mention it. This one here is Wolverines. It's funny because if you have ever seen the 1980s movie Red Dawn, yeah, that's sort of what it's referring to. I'm not going to get into that because I am good at going off in tangents, so I'll try and avoid that. Next one here is, that's actually a duplicate of the same thing. Alternate air system tables. There's an updated advanced sequence of play. This is actually to integrate the new air system, or actually it's a really alternate air system if you want to use it. And this is interesting. I'm not too certain what this is. It looks like it's some new holding boxes for Next War Korea. I'll have to look at it a bit more to see what use it is. I'm sure it's useful. It looks like it sort of highlights how many air bases, airfields, and nuclear sites there are off map, perhaps. That's what they're about. And the counters. Looks like it's 1.5 counter sheets. First counter sheet. All sorts of different air units here. They look the same. It looks like these are Chinese air units, probably Chinese / DPRK. American Air Force counters, U.S. Navy counters, U.S. Marine counters. Yeah, I can tell the nationality just by looking at the colors, so you can sort of tell that I've played the series a fair bit. In any case, looks like the counters are all much more generic than in the other game systems. My understanding of it, at least, is that whereas in the other games every unit counter represents a different type of air unit, like whether it's an A-10 or whether it's an F-16, F-35, J-7, MiG-21, whatever. This one is much more generic because of the fact that in an actual combat situation you would not necessarily have a specific squadron of A-10s going after a specific unit in a battle. What you're going to have is parcels of aircraft that are allocated by the air boss, and that could include potentially a single air parcel. It might include, for example, a couple of A-10s with a couple of F-16 flying escort missions, things like that. It's fairly random things. That's my take on this, and that's why each of these have different, even though they look generic, they all have somewhat different values on them. I'd have to look into more if that in fact is the case, because at this point, I'll be honest, it's just conjecture. I guess this is good if you're looking for a better idea as to what it would look like for a ground commander, I suppose, to order air support, as compared to knowing exactly what you're going to get in a specific situation. Just my personal preferences, I probably won't use this. I might give it a go, but I probably won't use it all that much, because I do actually like having all the different types, air unit types and all that, to be able to look at them and everything. Send them off on missions depending on the type of unit and everything. Simply because of the fact that for me personally, even though it may not be perfectly realistic per se, that's really not the point anyways, because of the fact that it's a game. Games are by their very nature not hugely realistic. So I sort of like the other way with these specific named air units, because it adds a bit more flavor to it, and the flavor is a bit more what I'm after, and along with maybe a generic idea as to the way things may run from a holistic sort of perspective. But it's definitely an interesting idea if this interests you. Looks like there's cyber warfare units in all the different colors. Let's see, Chinese, Russian, DPRK, American, Indian. No, this would be Pakistani. That would be most likely Indian. Who would that be? I'm getting stumped. In any case, that's sort of how what it looks like in any case. Next counter sheet. Looks like there's some specific submarine counters here. It looks like there's some. Also, you have some mobile missile systems, both in Chinese colors and as well as looks like Russian. You have American Patriot missiles here, and a number of other new system counters as well. That's it. That's what this little package comes with. I don't doubt I'm going to make use of some of this. It's really meant, I think, to be rather experimental in terms of how it is applied into and integrated into the games. It's I don't think this is going to be a canonical thing, as it were. It's not going to take over or be official. I really don't see it. It's just a bit more chrome to add to your games. A bit of stuff you can add here and there if you so desire. Looks really interesting. I personally love the game system, so I'll probably make use of at least some of it, especially like the random events, maybe some of the others as well. I'm really quite interested in looking through it in a bit more detail, looking through the rules. I haven't even done that. Literally, I've just opened this puppy up just right now, and be able to try it on for size in one or more of my games. So there you go. That is the Next War series supplement from GMT Games. Just released supplement for the Next War series. Put out with their P500 as their latest P500 release. For the Solo Grognard, my name is Eric. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I do have a link here on the screen, and I would really do appreciate that you watch this, and I hope to be able to talk to you again soon. Bye now.